Hello everyone. Before we start today's video, if you could all do me a solid and lightly tap the like button, perhaps share the video about and leave a comment. If you are not subscribed, subscribe as well. It would greatly help this channel. Thank you very much. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log, Subdates 221212.3. On the 12th day of Moistmas, my whole crew gave to me a micro machine, a loo roll tube, and an enema. I am totally using this on one particular member of my crew that proudly wears no butt stuff on their belt. You know who you are? Hello everyone, welcome to This Week at Twitter, Part 2, or Twat. We're going to start today with a poll from Carl Benjamin, aka Sargon of Akkad. Should children have access to smartphones and social media? The selection of options: yes, no, I don't know. The final results after 34,318 votes was that 84.6% said no. Generally speaking, if they are not permitted to use social media, so I think under the age of 13 for a few platforms, the answer should always be no. There is a risk of grooming. Also, we want them to grow up to be less dysfunctional than the current generation. Hi, dysfunctional. That rely too heavily on social media when they find interpersonal skills really do prosper with other people. And while there's nothing wrong with being introverted, I don't think we want the entire population to be introverted. And there's always a risk of it. And I know, reductio ad absurdum, Meg, how dare you? Let me be pedantic and correct you. Thank you. You're one of those people, aren't you? You're also an introvert. I voted no on this because I generally think the parents should do a better job of raising their children. And again, I have covered far too many people through the halls of injustice, but also watch a number of YouTube channels that catch people who are grooming online. It is the more recent version of Chris Hansen, but without that grifter involved. Irate Alex retweeted the poll with, should adults at this point Sargon? You're missing a comma and a capital on the S, for should that is. The answer is yes. Why? Because they're old enough to make the mistakes. See what we did there? Fantastic. Hannah Wallen had pointed out, though, the survey is too simple. Access isn't the problem, lack of supervision and control to ensure that access is age appropriate is the problem. A 5-year-old gets precisely zero benefits from using social media. A 13-year-old should be supervised on it. A 15-year-old should be checked up on, and so on. And there is certainly a point there, but it falls at the feet of the parents to make sure that they are being looked after as best they can be. That is my view on it anyway. The platform has performed its legal duty with regards to safeguarding, but then I do follow a few accounts of people who themselves were, when they were younger, groomed or trafficked. And they have caught places like Twitter out because Twitter themselves have failed to remove content that involves children and inappropriate things happening to those children, claiming nothing had violated their policy. Granted, Elon Musk seems to be making changes, but it still happened, and that's quite the feck up. And if you want to follow a really good account of somebody who highlights all of this, Eliza Blue, go give her a follow. I doubt she needs any promotion from me, but go follow anyway. So next, Mike Ashley was trending on Twitter. Mike Ashley, for those who don't know, is the owner of Sports Direct. Is longtime fan of Newcastle United, massive dickhead, loved exploiting workers for 0-hour contracts, is renowned for being a massive fat tosspot. This time though, it's hilarious. You see, in a dispute with Coventry, a football team, he has told the club they're not welcome at their stadium anymore because he has stuff to sell and he wants to use the stadium to do it. So Mike Ashley's group told Coventry City to leave their stadium and they have no right to use the ground. I wish this were a joke, by the way, but Mike Ashley is investing £600 million to invest in a new Coventry headquarters after buying the stadium. That is impressive. Now, the reason this all happened, and yes, Mike Ashley's still a dick, is because the former owner went into administration. So his cock-up was for Mike Ashley a great opportunity to obviously get rid of the competition because Coventry are renowned for their rip-roaring success in the league. I guess what's fascinating is the new site that they intend to make the headquarters out of won't be the stadium but a separate location on the outskirts of the city of Coventry anyway. So, why? Additional fascinating little fact is the soon-to-be Coventry owner has spoken out about this. How this ties into Twitter is the prevailing theme amongst everyone, especially if you're from Newcastle, is please Mike Ashley stay out of football. But then if he can be a dick somewhere, he's going to. His group is going to. They made massive acquisitions this year and their, profits went up 12%. Over £2 billion. The man knows how to make a penny and he's going to use it as wisely as he wants. If he wants to turn Coventry Stadium into a supermarket, he will do it. It'll be the biggest Sports Direct and no doubt it will be the biggest hunk of crap. So how does this all affect Coventry? And I should state this. The eviction notice they have been served is if they do not agree to the new license agreement proposal, which has been dubbed less favourable to the football club and would only last until May 2023. Essentially, Mike Ashley has become the landlord, so no, all the other speculations that have been happening on Twitter are not accurate, unless Coventry say, "Go feck yourself, you fat lump of lard." Now, as I think we all deserve a break from time to time and I want to drive up engagement in this video, yes, please do leave a comment. We're going to do some audience participation. I have 6 of them for you today. The first, which controller did you start with? Tweeted by Game with Dave. For me, controller-wise, it was the Mega Drive. I have played an Atari, but I had that as a teenager, but the first console-ish I had was an Amstrad CPC 464, keyboard-based with tape cassette games. Gremlins 2 the new batch and a rip-off version of Donkey Kong? Amazing. Do let me know which one is your first. Ergonomically speaking, I would say that the worst controller on that is the Nintendo Switch. 100% it is. It's always better to buy a separate controller and just plug that in instead. And I know it can be argued the Atari joystick hardly preferable, nor the Nintendo first controller. Thank you for being that person. The next one. Carlos Costa tweeted, which comedian do you just not find funny? Many people replying with Michael McIntyre. A couple of them spelt it incorrectly. My reply is I actually find him funny. Least funny comedian for me is Russell Brand, Noel Fielding, Jack Whitehall, or any of the more recent crop of comedians that can't help but be super politically correct. For God's sake, it's comedy. Learn to find something funny and not find something offensive. Next, by Real Ozzy. Which 3 are you? Now this is interesting. I am 3 on the steak. I am 6 on the toast. Yes, I do like my carbon. And I don't drink hot drinks, so none of those are applicable to me. I am G, liquid refreshment, agua or whiskey. Never together, my palate really approves of one or the other. Next, Hollywood Horror Museum. You can only save one version of the Addams Family. For me, 1991. Why? Because I didn't see the 1964 version, but I do recall the intro video for it on YouTube. I learnt to play the song on the guitar recently. Quite proud of that. I'm not recording that again. The cartoon series in 73 was quite good. I saw the playbacks. 98, isn't that the reunion movie? No. The 2019 cartoon? No. And the more recent Wednesday show? Why bother when 1991 exists? The magnum opus of all Addams Family. And final, do you prefer a Stratocaster or a Telecaster? If you are someone that plays a musical instrument, or more notably a guitar, you might be conflicted. I'm not. I find the Telecaster clunky, lumpy, and pointless. I don't like it. It doesn't suit my style of play that much. I don't like the 3-way selector blade being parallel with the strings. I don't like it at all. I have a Stratocaster, a Fender, and I also have a Nick Johnston Stratocaster. Schecter though. Both of them are 3 single coils. I would love for one to be a humbucker single, but I don't have that. And I'd love to get my hands on the EVH with just a humbucker. I find the shape sits more comfortably, the contoured body is brilliant. I prefer maple fretboard personally, but again, that's just me. Do let me know in the comments, and I know I said 6, but it turns out I'm stupid and counted 5. One of them happened to be my retweet with my answers of the steak, the toast, and the kofifi in the comments down below. It's been a hot minute since I played this particular video clip, but then Pepsi had to go and do something that forced my hand. Yes, Pepsi have introduced Pilk and Cookies recipe, where you fill a glass with Pepsi and you put milk in it. Now I misunderstood Pilk entirely and thought if you were going to prank Santa, Pilk would certainly be the way about it. but filling a glass with what I thought Pilk was would take a while, or many volunteers to do it. Yeah, that's what I thought, and I then realised what I'm looking at is absolute
blasphemy.
And it should not for an iota of a moment be tolerated in modern society. You, the people that run Pepsi and the ones that did this advert, can have a nice tall glass of Pol, P-O-A-L. It's where you pour Pepsi over a lump of coal and drink that. You'll find your teeth will thank you and destroy you at the same time. You deserve this. It has become a regular feature with regards to Count Dankula to feature his giant penis parody account, because it tickles me and it doesn't tickle him, which means his salt and cope nourish and sustains my matrix. He tweeted, "Watch the circle. 30 people wake up in a room and cast anonymous votes. Get the most votes, you die. Standard thought experiment movie, I thought, until people started voting for the little girl pregnant woman as they knew they stood a better chance of winning with them gone." To which Russ Monkey replied, "Like I'm gonna listen to a guy named Giant Penis." With Crypto is for Nerds replying, "Imagine preferring to listen to Small Penis." Giant Penis, though, replied to Russ Monkey retweets with, "I am the authority on all things. When I speak, you listen." Personally, I think it's only right to listen to you when you are the authority on all things giant cock related, and you are a giant cock. I think for this video, the final thing I'm going to insert comes from Dr. Charlotte Proudman. If people cared as much about ending violence against women and girls as they do about football, it would be solved. No, it wouldn't. People are trying their best to solve the issue, but to be honest, no. It's a false equivalence. And I'm going to read the reply via retweet from Hannah Wallen. If feminists cared about ending violence against women and girls, they wouldn't condone female violence that leads to bidirectional IPV. You can't end violence by creating a gendered double standard on whether throwing the first punch constitutes violence and who can defend themselves. If you cared about ending any IPV at all, you'd support a non-gendered nobody is allowed to hit first taboo and stop demonizing men and boys when you know more than half the time IPV is initiated by a woman hitting first. Feels before reels though, everyone. Ta-ta.